Okay, my brother from another mother.
R.
Everything is okay.
Because I'm trying to fix the echo, but
No problem.
I need another couch or a cat.
Yeah. Speaker view. Okay. So, how have you been, first of all?
Well, the lockdown hasn't really been a lockdown for me because I've been running in the mornings like whenever I wanted. You just here they closed everything down. They closed the parks, they closed the canals, but you can, if you go in the morning or if you go at lunch, they usually just let you go. There's only old crazy people that hey, you should go home.
But don't you have a lockdown between certain hours, like here in Romania for us now? You're forbidden to go out between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. Like if they find you outside between those hours, you get a fine.
No, you guys are similar with Germany, I think, but for us, we're just you just have to stay inside. If you go outside, you can only go like for an hour. So they look at the piece of paper you have or on your phone, and you have to be in 1 hour. You have to be home. What they also do is they like if you go out for a jog or for a run, you can only go within a certain perimeter.
Yeah.
So that's why I go early in the morning or at noon, where I'm sure that there's no one out there.
Okay.
But we're not limited to when we can go in, when we can go out.
Yeah. How this quarantine affected your trainings? Because being limited in the area that you have to run puts you sort of in like for me at least for me, there's no way I can train hills, let's say, around the area I stay.
Well, I kind of went rogue like for the first 2 weeks. Like I would just run my distance, but then when they started closing the parks and all of that, I just didn't go as far as I could. Yeah. And I also had plans to go to the mountains, but I canceled that because they're usually, since they close down everything, there will be in the highways. But the good thing is, since I was also sick and now I'm recovering, and I also had an injury about last week. The good thing is I can do all sorts of stuff. So right now I'm training again for the human flag. I really want to finish it. Mm-hmm. So I just spend my days. So today is an arm day. So I just do pull-ups, push-ups. I work on my grips. When I'm not doing that, I have days where I just go full abs and just try to work like this. I try not to eat like a cow or like a pig.
Well, it seems like in quarantine, pretty much everyone is getting a little bit more than usual fat on them.
So far, I only have like, let's say, I only got like a kilo plus on me, but it's not distressing. Like I can feel like if I just go for a normal run, I can get this out in about a week.
Yeah.
What really helped me is I have a side project, so not really being able to run didn't affect me that much because I can train my human flag stuff. Mm-hmm. And you also helped me with those training sessions, so thanks for that.
With pleasure.
And I recommended you to a friend and to other guys, like, because they said, oh, we're stressed out, we're not motivated because we can't run. And I just suggested, look, if you're not motivated, just do something else.
Yeah. You can think of it like cross training. You just have I was just talking these days with a friend of mine, and I was saying like, I needed a break, but if it would be my decision, I wouldn't take it. So this quarantine, it has its ups and downs.
Yeah.
So it helped me quite a lot on recovery.
Yeah, for sure.
Because more sleep, and not only more sleep, but it's that amount of sleep that you can get when you want, not when it's possible. It's very important, at least I've observed in my years of training. It's way more important to get rest at the specific time that your body needs, rather than just going to sleep when you don't feel like going.
Yeah.
You know, for me especially, my best hours I've observed are between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. in the morning, something like that, for me to go to sleep without a problem. And then waking up like after just 3 or 4 hours of sleep isn't that beneficial on the long term. But being caught in a pattern like this all the time, you don't really realize that it's affecting you that much, because you're training, and as you know, if you're constantly training, you feel capable. But if you back up a little bit, like take a step or two back, and just rest a little bit, you would see that, I don't know, lately pretty much my entire fitness levels skyrocket. I mean, I've been training 3-4 times a day, but just the thought of having a free day, you know, and just going to sleep. I haven't set any alarm in the past 3 weeks, so that's pretty much exciting for my mind. You know, it's something very beneficial to be stress-free. So this, I believe, this is very important for all athletes and any individual that is trying to achieve something on a physical aspect, to be stress-free. So either we're gonna get out of quarantine or not, I believe that a lot of your results is gonna be based on your overall stress levels. You can train very well, you can have your diet spot on, but if you don't have your mind there, there's no way. As you said with your friends, they don't have the motivation. Motivation is something like, today I feel like eating something, tomorrow I don't feel like eating that. So motivation comes and goes. It's about the constant goal, you know, is to look a little bit further than today and tomorrow. Like you do, you make plans. Plans don't know weather, plans don't know when you're gonna be sick, plans don't know when you're gonna be able. So either you respect that or don't. It's gonna affect your performance.
You know, plans are important, and I admire you. I admire you, and not only you, but people that now before this quarantine managed to get up at 5, 6, 7 in the morning. Because back when I was training for the Ironman, and when I was training triathlons, I was like a robot. Like if you had to wake up at 6 to go to the pool, like I just went and I just didn't ask questions of myself. But now, since I don't really have a main goal that is really, really difficult, like really, really challenging for myself, when that clock hits 7 o'clock and my watch starts going off, I just go, oh no, not again, not 7 o'clock.
Yeah, but don't you think this should be taken as a challenge? Because even before quarantine, we used to have different challenges because we already had a goal set in our mind, you know. But what my mind went through lately was this: uh, it's like a long run. You have different type of walls that you're gonna hit at a certain time, and everyone that runs long distances knows that you can be the most muscular guy, the most fittest guy. You're gonna hit a wall, and hitting the wall is gonna work you mentally, you know. So
Yeah.
I believe it would be a very good idea for all of us to start working mentally now. And me, I've run like 10 kilometers, 13 kilometers in my apartment. So that's like a lot of laps, because I had friends asking me, how many laps you've run
About
of your apartment?
7,000.
I'm like, if I would count them, I would go crazy. You know, sometimes you have to learn to put your mind on a autopilot.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, you were training for Ironman, and you were just like a robot. You were doing stuff. Speaking about Ironman, any new plans on?
Well, I was very, very disappointed in the overall run I had last year. From my performance standpoint, let's say it like that. So, but either way, what I wanted to do, what I'm doing now is I'm gonna be 32 this year. So until 35 years old, I'll try to maximize my fighting training. So MMA, jiu-jitsu, I'll try to focus on this. Obviously now I'm kind of stuck because I don't have a bag, I don't have training partners and so on and so forth. But until 35 years old, I wanna focus on this, because after 35, if you don't go pro, like train all the time, it's kind of difficult to reach a good level. And after 35, I'm determined to go again and do and really do an Ironman like I wanted to do it. Because I did it 2 times, but I'm not happy with the way I did it, because
okay, so what would be the issue?
Well, the issue is I'm not a fond of doing triathlon just to do triathlons. I'm not interested in going pro, like in winning races, because that would mean modifying my body, and I really like my body type. I don't want to be skinny. I just want to be. I'm good right now. What I want to do, and what I do in all my cardio training, and so on and so forth, except fighting. Well, fighting included in some aspect, is that I do everything without food and water.
Yeah.
So I go running, nothing during the run. I go cycling, nothing during cycling. Everything I do on empty.
I saw that you tried doing it without food and water. First of all, why? Everyone is going to ask this question. Why?
Well, because I'm not interested. It's not something I like doing. It's not something like fighting or jiu-jitsu or video games. It's not something like that I really like, but it's something I find it difficult to do. So when I started training for triathlons, I didn't have this goal in mind. I just wanted to do an Ironman in 3 years, starting from zero. I had one marathon, and I just said, that's difficult. That looks hard. Let's do that.
Yeah.
But when I completed my first 2 triathlons after 1 year of training, I kind of thought, like, if I continue training, I will be able to do this, but it's not as challenging as I thought. And people would say, no, you're crazy because you run but coming from the background that I have and you have, we come from fighting, we come from kickboxing. if you, and I encourage everyone to think like this. If you apply your fighting mentality, or whatever it is, your passion mentality, to something other that is difficult, like triathlons or marathons, you will be able to succeed. So
mentally, I found that it's not as difficult
exactly
as it would be for someone who hasn't been in a fighting situation.
Because you dedicate yourself to the same level, and you train to the same level. You train with the same intensity, and you're very serious. Like when I went to the pool, for example, like I had many instances where I got to the pool. I was first there, or between I was the 10th guy in the pool.
Yeah.
I did my 1 hour of training, and then I just left, and I saw all the other guys that were doing triathlons or something like that. You can see that they're athletes that were just sitting around, and I didn't have time for that. I was too focused on training, recovery. Then I had to get back to work, then another training, recovery. So being that I came from a sports background where you used to fight and you have to concentrate for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever the time it will be for that purpose, applying that to my training was something that got me to realize that if I just train and do a triathlon like other people do it, it will be very, very easy.
Yeah.
And, the first marathon I did and the first triathlon I did, I didn't even think about drinking or not drinking water. Mm-hmm. Like I was at kilometer 36 of my marathon. I was like, I didn't have anything to drink or eat. This is okay. When I was close to finishing my triathlon, I didn't think like, I need to drink. I was just like, this is hard, but I can go on. So it's not.
Yeah, but don't you think your results would be a whole lot better if you would have drinks or energy gels or stuff like that?
Yes,
basically carbohydrates.
Yes, but I'm not looking as much for the physical challenge, because I've been on 90-kilometer bikes. I've been on 200-kilometer bike rides. I've been riding. I have a friend in the mountains, and we used to do stuff that it's way beyond race pace and race intensity. But the physical aspect does not interest me. What interests me is pushing myself, pushing my mind. So the first 2 times that I did Nice, so the 2 times I failed to do this without food or water, I really, it wasn't that I was physically incapable of finishing. It was that mentally I wasn't ready to finish like I wanted. And that's what I want. I want to push my mind to go forward. I'm not interested in doing 100 push-ups just so I can do 100 push-ups physically. I'm interested in seeing what happens with my mind once I get to 80 push-ups and I'm still going.
Yeah. So you basically want to reach the failure point of your mind, so you can challenge yourself to go beyond that.
Exactly. That's the only thing that drives me to redo Nice. That's the only thing that drives me, not because I'm maybe didn't have enough legs to finish. No, because the last time I did Nice last year, after I decided to drink water, in like 5 minutes I was running again. And I was running at a pace that I was in the first half of people that were running. So it's not a physical thing. It's a mind game.
I know. This is the same. I've done. I believe you know David Goggins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've done first the half challenge, 7-4-24, running 7 kilometers at every 4 hours for 24 hours.
That was his challenge, because I saw it.
Cool. His challenge, it's actually running for 48 hours.
Mm.
It's you run 2 miles. No, it's 4 miles, almost 4 miles. You run for 48 hours at every 4 hours. The challenge itself is not that difficult physical, at least for me, and my level of fitness wasn't that difficult. What is very difficult, it's knowing that you have to do it again. It's knowing that you have to eat, sleep, repeat, but in a manner that doesn't allow you to get enough rest, doesn't allow you to get enough food. Because you're basically, in those 4 hours, you're going to do that amount of distance. After that, you have to work your mind a lot just to think, okay, when do I eat, when do I sleep, so I can be ready for the next run. Then you're going to repeat the same. And you can't eat the same things you eat in the morning to eat at night and in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
You know, so that was something very challenging, and I've seen how my team started literally showing signs of weakness, because physically I knew they were all capable, but just the idea of repeating and having different moods along the way, that's the challenge. That's because, as I previously said, physically everyone can do it. It's a matter of how much effort you put into trainings and how dedicated you are. But at a certain point, physical is no longer that important, because you reach a point where you sort of like floating. You move forward, but you're not feeling it anymore. You don't feel your legs, you don't feel your arms, you're not feeling anything. Like my challenges that I have, like 2018 burpees.
Yeah, those are cool, man.
When you finish, when you make like, okay, 100, anyone can do it.
Yeah.
500, I've seen people doing. But when you reach that point where all your acid or your lactic acid goes out, you don't have enough time to put back some energy, and pretty much your body is not going to work for you, then it's a mind thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that I've seen realizing and accomplish a lot of stuff came for mental. As in jiu-jitsu, as you've seen, you can find very strong opponents, but weak in mind, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a mind game. It's how you put your technique. It's how you, it's like a cat and mouse game. That's why I like it more and more and more. And it was very challenging for me to be able to put it in my schedule.
Yeah.
I know that they say 90% of people that quit jiu-jitsu is from blue belt.
Yeah.
For me, blue belt was not something that was not like a big accomplishment. Was just a proof of achievement, you know, a proof that if you constantly do something, you reach a level. After that, for me personally, I never want to go back. I want to move forward, as in training, as in distance, as in life, you know, because in any aspect of life, any aspects of life are very similar with sports. So that's why I don't understand how a lot of people can't really find time for sports,
Mm.
you know, because
Well,
this excuse is very used. I
well,
don't have time,
I
and
think it's because
now I'm asking you because you're the same as me. You work, you have a full-time job, yeah.
yeah,
You have a girlfriend, as far as I know,
yeah.
yeah. Uh, and you have to pay bills. You do chores and all of that. What drives you
Mm. Well,
to constantly beat yourself up? You know, what's the motivation behind? Because let's face it, we are not at the professional level. Let's say we haven't reached that
mm,
professional level. But what makes a normal person constantly beating themselves up with sports?
well, I think in general with me, because many people ask me that question, but they ask it like in a way to start a conversation. So just after that to move on to something else. But I think in my case, it's a case of um, depending on the activity, I have different reasons. So for example, fighting.
Yeah.
I fight because I originally started fighting because my grandmother wanted me to fight. So I got to a certain level doing karate and I was just like, there's got to be more to this stuff. There's got to be more than just bowing, doing some forms and some of that shit. And that's how I ended up doing MMA and jiu-jitsu to complement my MMA.
Yeah.
Getting here, seeing how seeing bad examples and good examples of how people were coached and how I was coached led me to coach. So fighting just kind of creeped into my life. Now, the fitness aspect, let's call it fitness, running, push-ups, pull-ups, everything like that, originally started as something to complement my fighting. But it slowly dipped into something like now if I just spend like 1 week just doing nothing, I feel like I'm going crazy. So
I know.
it's become kind of an obsession, but on the other hand, it goes back to what we discussed earlier. Like I feel like doing difficult stuff makes me a better person. Like after I did triathlons, after I come home from 30 kilometers in the sun or in the rain or you're very, very tired. But after that feeling of tired, there's a feeling of calm, a feeling of not so much achievement, but like everything goes away. Like your stress, your lack of whatever it is goes away. So, for example, when I first came to France, because I'm in France, when I came to France, I didn't have I didn't have enough money. I didn't have enough friends to go out to party but what I did have is 1 or 2 training sessions at a boxing gym. So I made that boxing gym a substitute for the food I didn't have, for the friends I didn't have, and so on and so forth. So what drives me today is difficult things make me less stressed. Difficult things make me happier once I do these difficult things. And time, there is no such thing. Like everybody, like the same way you stated earlier, when do you have the time? When you make the time. Yeah. Like I work 9 to 6 with a very big break at noon. And everyone, or mostly everyone in my region works this way. But they ask me, when do you have the time? Like, dude, you have 2 hours at noon. You start at 9, you finish at 6. You don't finish at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the evening. It's like
from 5 to 9. Yeah, from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. you have exactly. 4 hours.
And I help a few people. I'm helping a few people get in shape. And I remember like 1 year or 2 years ago, they would be demanding like, when do you have the time, or what are you doing? And now they're not even asking that question anymore, and they're running 3 times a week. They're going out. They have the, you have the time. You do have the, there is time. You just have to prioritize.
Yeah, it's
just
priorities.
It's just like eating shit or not eating shit. It's just you have to choose, and you can always choose. But people don't want to choose because they just they look at you or they look at me and they see the final result. They see a guy that can do 2,000 burpees. They see a guy who runs for 16 hours, but they don't see that me, for example, I started with running 2 kilometers and didn't even finish the 2 kilometers. Nobody starts at being a high performance athlete, but we can all get there.
Yeah, I believe that a lot of people main fear is that they will not be able to do as much as someone that is training constantly doing. I know at least for my gym, I have a lot of students that they told me after they came several times that this was the main reason that they sort of delayed coming to the gym, because they heard it's very hard and all that. Everything is hard. And for all of you out there who believes that it's easier once you get to a higher level, it's not easier. There will never be fucking easier. There is
Come 1 week into our shoes.
There is no such thing as easy. In contrary, I believe that the more you progress, the harder it is, because results are gained harder. Results are way harder to see them. You know, you get to a point where, in order to see seconds progress, you need at least a year.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So imagine, it's like the same thing with raising a bonsai. You know, it takes so fucking much to see that shit grow.
And at least I didn't have this, and I don't know if you had it, but when you start, like when you have when you're 27, 28 and you start doing sports, you can benefit so much from, I ran my first kilometer. I just did 5. Oh my God, I just erased 5 minutes off my 5. Like all these things that you have in the beginning, it's you work at your hardest, and your hardest is your 100% is my 100%. Just that at your level, you have your goals and I have my goals, but we're all the same, and we can all find time.
Yeah, time is relative for everyone.
Time is extremely relative.
So how do you schedule your time in order to because we all have a social life also. So
what I do basically now, an ideal week, what it basically looks like for me is like, I try to run in the morning or at noon 2 to 3 times a week. Because we're in lockdown and I don't go out, I usually alternate one day with just arms, one day with abs.
Yeah.
And what I also try to do every day, and the lockdown helps with this enormously, is that every day now I have the time to stretch. Like I have 1 hour to just stretch and relieve some pain and get some agility back. So basically, if I were to go down like Monday through Sunday, I go like, Monday is arms and the cold bath at night, plus stretching. Tuesday, I usually run and I do abs. Wednesday, I usually do arms again. So today is an arm day. And stretching, of course. Thursday, I should run, but I won't because I'm recovering from an injury. So I'll run Friday. Friday I also do light arms. And then in the weekend, usually let's say I spend Sunday just chilling with my girl, with my friends, and so on and so forth. But at least either Saturday or Sunday, I have what you would call my test day. So I test to see if I have a race coming. It's usually when I run the most, or I run at race pace. But now what I'm doing in the lockdown, Saturday I have my human flag progress videos. So I just go, I hang, and I see where I'm at. So that's basically a week for me.
Yeah. So taking in consideration the lockdown, it pretty much changed your week.
Well, yeah, because imagine if you add going to work with all these trainings. If you add going to work, I would either have to sleep, go to sleep very, very late, or skip at least 1 or 2 sessions.
Yeah,
but running, I can find. For running, I can always find time because it's at noon or in the morning. For stretching, I didn't have time to do it every day when there wasn't any lockdown, because you had to get home, because you had to change.
Yeah, for stretching, I find it very useful to try to implement like few moves for a couple of minutes before bedtime. For me, I am a very big fan of stretching, but I'm not a very big fan of stretching a lot. Either that I don't know, sometimes you just have to be in the mood for stretching a lot. If I'm doing a class at my gym for stretching, I stretch without a problem for 1 hour. But for me home, there are a couple of exercises that I choose. I try to stay as long as I feel like I need. And then just maybe finishing with a foam roll, the necessary evil, how I call it. It's like it's painful, boring, but it's doing the job.
Well, I didn't mention that I do foam rolling after I run, but yeah, I do that too. And in the beginning, when I had very, very stiff legs, like I was doing screaming sessions in the house at noon. Like my neighbor was like, "Oh my God, what is he doing?" So, but now it's a little bit okay. Now it's fine.
Yeah, for legs and foam roller, I've seen that a lot of people are building a lot of tension in their legs. Mainly is because of sitting a lot and having a job that makes you sit at a desk. It's killing your legs. Beside this, if you're one of, like pretty much all the people does the same thing, you're having either public transportation or your car. You're sitting. You go back home, you're sitting. You get a point? So you pretty much sit a lot of time. So I believe if you're trying to change these habits of sitting and trying to work a little bit more of like from 15 to 30 minutes, just raise yourself from the desk and shake it off a little bit. Maybe, I don't know, do 10 burpees or something like that. Even if you don't have time, you have time for 10 burpees.
Yeah.
Everyone has time for 10 burpees. Like I wake up in the morning now and I make 3 exercises with 1 kettlebell. It takes maybe 3 minutes top. But after I do them, I feel like blood is starting to move. and you can start your day. This is the same with finishing your day. What you warm up yourself in the morning, you gotta cool down during the night. I know people are having difficulties in going to sleep. I had difficulties in going to sleep. And cooling down, your method with a cold bath or shower is very, very good, because having a lower temperature only produce more melatonin, you know, the sleeping hormone. So this way it's going to be more beneficial for you to rest longer, first of all, but not only longer, deeper. I'm a big fan of the deep state of sleep.
Yeah.
I had like, if I look at my calendar on my Garmin app, I had weeks and weeks and weeks with average of 5 hours of sleep per night. So you cannot humanly recover in 5 hours.
No, you need at least, for us, you need like 7 or 8, but
and the nap.
and the nap.
And the nap. But I found out that if you're less stressed, if your nutrition it's working for you, like if you avoid eating things that makes you gives you energy at night, then you're gonna have a better sleep. And overall stress levels, if they are down, you can get better sleep. And going into a deep state of sleep for at least 20% of your overall sleep is going to boost your energy levels and recovery. Like, I had weeks and weeks of early trainings during the day, trainings at night at jiu-jitsu, and everyone was asking, what are you taking? It's not something that you take, it's something that you make.
Yeah.
You know, and what can I say?
Well,
people have to relax more.
Well, the sleep thing is really big, and most people don't know it. But what I usually do, what I at least do, is just get my room. Like, if I go to sleep at 10, starting from 8 o'clock, I don't go in my room anymore. Yeah. I open the window, make it cool, dim all the lights. When I go into bed, I will ideally have no smartphone, no nothing. So the less lights, the better. And what knocks me out, like, just is like 15 to 20 minutes of reading.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I start reading and I just go back, bam.
There is a problem with that for me. Because I got used with reading. And if you get caught in reading, you get so interested in the subject that you are, or chapter, that you give page after page after page, and you're like, damn, I want to get some rest.
Dude,
that's why
being lazy helps me. Because I just ordered a book. I don't know if you know, it's the Supple Leopard. It's called Supple Leopard. It's a book about correcting your posture and doing exercises to improve your overall musculature and posture exercises. And it's so fucking cool. Like, I can't stop going through pages. But the fact that I'm lazy, like after 10 pages, it's good. It's only 20 minutes. I'll maybe stop here and then just go bam.
Yeah, I switched from reading lately. I do read, but usually I read on my phone. Because I have either on my phone or my Kindle, but my phone is way more accessible to have it next to me. First of all, I'm closing all internet, Wi-Fi and data service are offline. When I put myself in bed, I close that. I don't dim anything in my room. I used to do that before I started sleeping with my goggles on, like sleeping goggles, you know.
Oh, okay.
That changed my game after I fucking got used with it. Changed my game. I can't even if I'm dead tired and I go to my room and I forget to bring my sleeping goggles, I'm gonna raise from the dead just to go in the living room and get my goggles. It's that good. Once I put those fuckers on my face, bye bye London.
I can't. Sleeping goggles, I can't.
I used to use those how do you call them ear things,
Earbuds.
Earbuds, yeah. I used to have that habit of using earbuds. My God, even better. But you don't hear anything. You don't hear if someone calls. You don't hear a door knock or anything.
But see, you got at least 2 other problems in your house that I don't.
Yeah, that's and that's even how should I say? That's 2 more reasons for people around to do stuff that I do and have no excuse about it. I've been talking with a friend today and I was telling him, you can't be lazy. If you would be for a couple of days in my skin, you wouldn't have time for laziness. And it's not about having time of being lazy, but it's more like you can't have that privilege anymore. No,
exactly.
When you're busy over your head, you can't have the privilege of being lazy. And being honest, even with this lockdown, I had maybe a day or 2 where I've dropped my my levels. You know, I've dropped my habits a little bit, but like I am doing with other things, like once in a while I drink 1 beer with alcohol. For all people that saw me earlier drinking, this is no alcohol drink. I use it because
it's whiskey inside. We know.
Yeah, because after run or after training, it's a very good method for me to recover. That's how lately I observed that you get the nutrients without alcohol. It's something good. So as I was saying, from time to time I get 1 beer with alcohol. But why do I take it? Because first of all, it's the desire. You're like, oh, I would drink 1 beer like that. But then you start drinking. I sip it a little bit, and I'm like, this is why I don't drink. You know, because sometimes you need to remind yourself that whatever you're doing and whatever path you've chose is the right path. That's why I don't eat sweets. I don't have chocolates and stuff like that. I don't. But when I do have them, I don't feel bad about it, but I feel reminded. You know, I reminded myself that whatever I'm doing, it's good. You know, so I don't find people that abuse certain stuff. I don't judge them. What I do judge about people, judge is not judge because it's pretty hard to judge. Even the word itself, it's not well received. I can't cope with the fact that you find excuses when you are choosing the excuse.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, I would understand someone that it's okay, you can't train because you are limited either for space, either for you can't train, let's say, you can't train with a kettlebell if you don't have a kettlebell. That's understandable. But when you are capable of doing and you ask help and you give excuses, then I can't understand you. You know, it's like in anything, It's like I'm asking you an advice from you, and I've been doing that in the past. I changed my way. I've been, and I believe I've asked you for help also with my website or something. And I'm like, why would I bother someone, you know, when you can just look it up nowadays? No, it's way more easier. But people are doing this because you find comfort in someone that is going to be like, oh, I know how that feels. Information is available for everyone. What we constantly need is having someone else that's been in the same situation. Like we are. I know how hard it is for us sometimes to train or for getting up from failure. You know, I know for me the hardest thing, like in all my years of trainings or combat sports or whatever, was to lose. You know, but I believe losing makes the greatest person that you can achieve. It's losing make you have a way more things to learn from losing rather than from winning, because if you win you're like, okay, I won.
Yeah, dude, losing. And someone asked me like, what's so interesting about fighting? Why do you like fighting so much? And I still give this answer sometimes, like, dude, you don't know winning or losing until you do it on that level. Like, imagine being locked in a cage, a ring with someone that wants to knock you the fuck out. Imagine getting out of there first, getting your hand raised. Imagine surviving a physical combat with someone that is your equal in physical terms. So imagine winning that. Like, that is a high that I cannot describe. And imagine the other side, because my last MMA fight was a loss, and it was the most devastating loss mentally for me that I ever had. And those highs and those lows are what makes people better, I think. Just getting by like this, it's not a good way to live, in my opinion.
Yeah, and even at a higher level, if you don't have a challenge, you're in the wrong place.
Exactly.
If you don't challenge yourself, you're doing it wrong. Every day, like, let's not take it like very, how should I say, word by word, but every day means, like, in general, you have to surround yourself with challenges, because every time you accomplish something, you got to put something above it so you can go a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further. Once you get on a cruising level, then you got to ask yourself some questions. You're either in the wrong spot, you're either training with the wrong persons, even in work and relation and whatever. It's normal for people to consume whatever level they are and reach for higher levels, because you can only train as much in a gym and with a certain trainer. After you consume all that trainer's knowledge, everyone that's reaching the maximum capacity has to move forward. That's why athletes constantly change people, because some find what they search and people that pushes them forward. Some they keep searching, so they have to change, constantly change, for someone to be on the same level with them. First of all, on the mindset, and secondly, we all look for something that is going to make us better. For me, at least, I've constantly tried to be above myself all the time. It's not about, because you can easily find someone better than you, and especially when it comes about sports that involves different type of movement, you might be very good on your cardio, but you lack power. You might be very good on power, you lack cardio as much, and you always can find someone better. But if you're getting better and better than yourself, then it's a constant achievement, something that you don't see all the time. And not seeing is, it's the thing that makes us how should I say, the things that makes us put the brake pedal a little bit and just not constantly pushing it harder. So that's why I believe, in order to keep yourself active all the time, I found out that the best way to do that, it's always do the things that you can't.
Yeah.
Like you're flying the flag, okay? For me, now I'm gonna start training for raising from staying on my palms to raise myself up on my hands, you know, to raise my legs up.
Ah, okay.
Like, I've used to do this when I was younger. I stopped doing it for a long period of time, and now I'm not able to do that anymore. That for me is a challenge. So you have to put yourself in the position of challenging yourself, because if you're good at everything, something's wrong. You can't be good at everything.
You gotta strive to be the most stupid guy in the room, I feel.
Yeah. Being the most stupid guy in the room, it's one of the best things you can possibly have in your life. Because if you're the smartest, you gotta run.
You gotta change the room.
Yeah.
And
it's good, man. It's good. Life is good.
Life is good. Difficult, but good. But what do you, besides this physical feat, what do you want to do after? Like, do you want to compete in Spartan races again, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, after the lockdown, my plans are basically have remained the same. But even with Spartan, I believe I can go a little bit further. Spartan races for me currently are as triathlons have been for you, a challenge. I've seen that if I train, it's not that hard anymore.
Yeah.
This happened like 2 years ago. Even if I was training, but I wasn't training that focused and that I wasn't that well prepared for that type of race. It kind of didn't give me the results that I was expecting, and I saw what I have to do. I changed my entire game plan. I've managed to get some very good results, and for me, being up there in front is something important. It's not ego. I try to separate ego from how do you call for my
self-esteem,
self-esteem,
self.
passion. Is more like I always try to challenge myself and not others. I don't. It's a constant fight for me with. Okay, it's like the virtual partner that you have on your watch. The virtual partner is me, no one else. I can have good day, bad day, and my opponents can have good days and bad days. But for me, I have to be better than myself all the time. So Spartan race is going to be definitely one of my main focuses in the upcoming years. But beside this, of course, jiu-jitsu. I like it. I mean, I like it, and it's something that since I was young, having a place where you give that tension, you know, that what would be that that inner madness that you have, that inner nervous stuff, you know, it's something very beneficial to just go out there and being able to do it safely.
Yeah.
You know, because what jiu-jitsu gave me and kickboxing didn't was the fact that at kickboxing, if you get knocked out, you can't raise yourself up and do it all over again. But at jiu-jitsu, if you tap, you can start 100% in the next second.
Yeah.
This is something
that's very important.
There is no sport that can give you this, you know, and in a such manner, like being able to go from 0% capability to 100% in a second. I mean, if you get punched in the face and your eyes start swollen, then you can't do too many.
You're not 100 anymore.
Yeah, you're not 100 anymore. But if you choke someone and he taps, you restart. It's like having an arcade, but a live one.
Yeah.
And this is definitely going to be on my main future goals. Now that I'm a blue belt.
Praise Jesus.
Yeah, pray Jesus for my next opponents. And it's going to be interesting. It keeps you motivated. But things have changed now with all this madness. And I hope that a lot of people understood, like I did, it's not the end of the world with or without few of us. World will always continue, you know, will always move forward. So in the end, it's how you make yourself happier. What do you do for your life? You know, because everyone goes to work, we tend to go into such a pattern that we forget the small things and we forget to be grateful for what we have. For me and for those surrounding me, I believe we saw this, we saw how important this is, because in the past month, maybe in the past 4 months, every single weekend, and I say every single weekend, we were on the mountain running or with steel chains, with whatever challenges I had in my mind, and going from that to zero only made me appreciate even more.
Yeah, because you put things in perspective.
Yeah, I was appreciating it already. Every every time I was getting out and training and in the morning, and I was like, I don't understand how other people don't see the beauty of it, you know. But now I know that it's gonna make me want it even more.
Yeah.
For me, I was already having a period of time where I'm like, okay, for my future years, I don't want to stay in a place where I'm like where there is a lot of noise. So I find myself in my imagination. I find myself being in a place like next to a mountain, or at least hills. But I gotta have some hills, hills and woods. It's something extraordinary, and I'm gonna work toward this. I mean, once again, I'm saying I hope that people have understood that no one else is gonna make things easier for you. As you see now in this lockdown, people are waiting for governments and stuff like that. For give them money, for give them food, for give them whatever escape route that can. But if you get to a point where not even your government can help you, you gotta be able to help yourself. And I've seen, right, this was perfect. I believe it's a once in a lifetime situation. If you ain't helped by anyone else, how much can you survive? No, it's easy. And people taking toilet paper like
Oh my
like
God.
crazy was even
That's stupid shit.
Yeah, that's a psychological thing. I don't know.
Did that happen there too?
Oh yes, of course.
Dude, they
And I'm like, I don't understand. I don't wipe. I wash.
Dude, the first week, everyone was going crazy. Like all the spaghetti was gone. Everything was gone.
Yeah.
Toilet, everything. And nobody, but nobody thought like what would happen if this goes on for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. They were all just like, oh, we're gonna stock up on this, and
you're gonna eat toilet paper.
And we're gonna eat toilet paper. Yeah.
Meanwhile,
after 3 weeks, everyone is like slowly getting out anyway, regardless of restrictions or not. They're still going out. They're still doing their stuff. So I tend to believe, I have a very low opinion of people who emptied the supermarkets.
Well, how can I put it? Some people, not all of them.
By the way, sorry, can you hear the kid screaming?
No.
I have a kid screaming, and so if it gets recorded, it's the kid.
Yeah, no.
Not my soul.
No, it's not. I can't hear it, and I have the headphones, so maybe your microphone is well suited for this situation. The people that have emptied the supermarket, pretty much, I believe that those are the most paranoid ones.
Yeah.
Because as my mother was doing also, watched a lot of TV.
Dude, that's... Do you know the worst? Let me tell you the worst example. My grandmother only watches TV, and when she calls me, it's either war in France, we don't have enough food, or war and we don't have enough food.
I have the funniest example of this. My mother calling me and telling me that whatever we were talking, whatever subject, and she's like, what are you gonna do? And I'm like, I'm gonna go tomorrow in the mountains. And she's like, but tomorrow is gonna rain, or it's gonna be something like that. And I'm like, okay, but there's going to be 20 degrees or something. And she's going, yeah, but it says on TV that it's going to be like that. I'm like, you can't, it's not even funny to argue such things.
Dude,
You just go,
my grandma,
I can, go ahead.
my grandma used to call me, and every week she used to tell me that some vegetable caused cancer. Like I went through carrots, tomatoes, cabbage, everything caused cancer at some point because she saw it on TV.
Everything.
Don't eat anything. Just drink like me.
I said to my mother like this, you can die between four walls at any certain point, as I can die outside of those four walls. It all depends on what you choose, whether you want to die inside or outside. But a very assuring thing it is you're gonna die. That's and you ain't gonna. It's not gonna be like something to be really afraid of. Being in a fear bubble all the time. Only it's like trying to grow a tree in a chamber. You know.
Yeah.
It's gonna expand as much as that chamber is, you know. So go out, do stuff, try stuff, even if they're wrong, you know. Trial and error all the time, because this way you're gonna find out what you like and don't like. And the world outside is not that scary, you know. It's less populated than the online world, less populated. And I like that very much. And I hope we get to have a run together sometime.
You know what, I want to roll with you soon, because I didn't get to the last time I was there.
Yeah, we roll. We are on the same belt, so we roll. If
Let's
you
hope in September I'll get a chance to come back, and maybe we can roll then.
Yeah, but if you come like you came the previous time also, take at least a day.
Yeah, well, it was very on the special, it was very unique. I wasn't supposed to come anymore, but I managed to. I just wanted to please my mother. Let's say it like that. But
yeah.
If I come in September, I'll be coming for a trail run in the mountains. Yeah. It's a 40-something kilometer run, and I'll probably take like at least 1 week or two in Romania, so we'll have time to
perfect
to hang around a little bit.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Ionel, it has been a pleasure to have this conversation.
Thank you, my friend.
Did
you wake up?
Not yet. It's always great to, and I'm gonna make a habit out of talking more with people, because why have I invested lately in this? It's a very good opportunity to see how people do things and to try to change your mind a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, because this way you can learn and adapt it. You know, and the same way goes to the person that you're speaking with also. That person can learn something from, if you live from one conversation, if you live with one thing, that's a gain. It's a win totally, you know. And as most of the people that I follow are saying, is like this: you have to get content all the time. If you get new content on your hard drive, you're gonna learn new stuff.
Yeah.
But if you keep yourself doing the same things, trying the same things, having the same habits can only make you pretty much the same.
Yeah, we agree.
So in order to achieve more, learn more, whatever, even if it's not from the same, how should I say, even if you're not on the same job or on the same habits or stuff like that, or things that you like, you learn different point of view. So that's very well.
Yes, my friend. Complexity is everything. A little bit of everything.
Complexity and variety. Okay. Have a great evening.
Thank you, my friend.
9:15 also already here. We're gonna catch up later.
Okay, cool. Take care of yourself.
See you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.